Hi, everyone. It's Bill Black, the Exit Coach from the Exit Coach Radio Show. You know, one of the biggest questions I get on the show is what exactly goes into a business exit plan and when should I start creating mine? Well, I always tell people that the best time to start was 5 years ago, but the next best time is now because you never know when you might need it. So we put together a free report that describes what an exit plan is and what you should know. You can get it free by texting exit plan with no spaces to 44222. That's exit plan to 44222. Again, text exit plan to 44222.
Welcome to the Exit Coach Radio Show, the show for baby boomer business owners who are looking for cutting-edge information as they plan their 3 to 10-year business succession and exit. Every week, we interview top professional advisors for their best tips, strategies, and precautions so you can be well-planned. And don't miss our 1-minute Exit Coach tip of the day on exitcoachradio.com. And now, here's your host, the Exit Coach, Bill Black.
Well, hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. We bring you great ideas from top advisors, and today is no different. I am pleased to introduce our next guest. Coming up is Lisa Caprelli from Huntington Beach, California, and she is going to talk about what color is your message. So let's get right into that. Lisa, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's my pleasure. I'm looking forward to this because I don't know what color my message is, and I want to find out all about that. Before we get into that, hey, do us a favor and tell us a little bit about you and your background and how you got into this line of work.
Yes, thank you, Bill. I'll try to make it quick. I'm originally from Texas, born and raised. I've lived in Southern California for 17 years. I built my life pretty much working my way up in the different industries and businesses I worked for, even as young as, age 17. I always, at a young age, treated each business as if it were my own and started learning every department I could. And one of the areas that I took off with at an early age was technology, understanding computers. Then comes the internet and how it works, and marketing and growing businesses. I moved here at age 30. I started my own business and used all the tools I did previous to that in building business, understanding messaging, marketing, and it was a success. It was a mortgage and real estate company, and back then we did a lot of radio advertising, which to date, video, the power of social media, is so much cheaper. So people started coming to me after building that business, and I had a history of understanding branding and marketing, wanting help, and what took way to that was the technology, and we are moving at a fast pace even today, as we know. There's just so many things that we just can't keep up with as business owners. So I've kept best practices with myself and my team. And what I found as we get older, and people who have been in business 20, 30 plus years, sometimes they're on their second business, their third business, and there's a saying that I often preach that says, your success makes you blind to new ways of thinking. So think about that. Your success makes you blind to new ways of thinking. And so what I found is the experienced business owner often will say, I'm actually a business dinosaur. I don't understand all of these things. In around 2009-10, when social media started becoming prevalent, I wrote the book, Color Your Message, because I find that if you don't explain to someone why they need something, they're not going to make the change. And so some of my early talks, Bill, were about how did you change? What made you change? And it had nothing to do with marketing. And so I started realizing that experienced business people need to understand where they are at, and in using the colors, I came up with the term color your message. In other words, if I gave you a box of crayons, and I were to only put in one hand hold black and white, and on the other hand hold all the colors, one being Facebook, one being LinkedIn, a color being social media, your website, YouTube, blogging, all these things that make your business work, you realize you need all the color in your life, especially in your business life. And if you just hold on to the black and white, the yellow pages of old advertising of even bulk mailing, which again, some businesses it works for, but it's really to open up people's minds to realize that they need to partake in today's technology and innovation to stay ahead of the game. If not, the 25-year-old out of college that knows how to use and play with these colors is going to get found on the internet. And so I have a passion for working with experienced business owners because I want their experience to be found. I want to know when I Google some keywords and just say it's, in medicine, or it's some kind of need I need, something for my household or something to better my life, that the experienced business owner is going to get found. But if I don't find you and I find the 25-year-old out of college and call him, guess who's going to get the work?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So for most people, and we talk a lot in a group called Provisors here in Southern California, which is a huge network for professional advisors. And the demographics in that group tend to skew a little older, and I've talked to a lot of those people, and they say, you know what I miss? I miss the good old days when it was easy to market. The yellow pages I understood that. You just got a bigger ad if you wanted more business. And now we have not only, then of course social media came along, and it wasn't just one channel you had to worry about. It's multiple channels that you have to worry about. So I love your description of the crayons and the different colors of those messages. And I think it goes deeper than that, right, to where you have to figure out who you're trying to reach, what platform they're on, and how they want to receive your message best, right?
Absolutely. You said it perfectly. And I have to say, it's really an exciting time when people say, oh, I miss the good old days. Well, I kind of say to that, remember Blockbuster? It was on almost every corner. And then Netflix came along, thanks to technology, just started with a small group of people. And I often say, what would have happened if Blockbuster would have said, hey, let's see what these guys at Netflix are doing, and be part of that game per se. And so who doesn't like that we can watch streamlined videos today, movies? So we have to stay innovative. We have to grow, or we are going to become obsolete. And it's an exciting time that today, as a subject matter expert, that you can create training and what's called modules and online information to not only teach one person or 5 or 10, but thousands or even millions of people. So you just have to understand a different way. And if you don't know how to do it, you hire somebody to do it for you. That's why people hire us. When they say, well, I don't have time to do social media, I'm like, well, you're not supposed to do it. I'm not a chiropractor. It's like me saying, I don't have time to, learn how to get the benefits of a chiropractor. I'm supposed to go to a chiropractor. As an expert, like with what you do, we're supposed to hire you. We're not supposed to take all our time to learn it. So stay the expert in your field, remain innovative, and learn how to adapt and hire a right team to help you partake in best practices in 2018 and beyond. And so that's the exciting time. I'll tell you, Bill, in my book, Call Your Message, one of the chapters I talk about is video. And I say in there, the power of creating video and going on YouTube. I'm seeing more and more just where I live. I was in Huntington Beach yesterday. And just during the day and walking around, I found two sets of groups recording video for a YouTube channel. And again, besides hiring the crew, you can do that pretty much for virtually free. Back in the early 2000s, in the day when I spent millions of dollars on radio for my businesses and for other people's businesses, today you can do video for hundreds of dollars. So it's an exciting time, and if I had a time machine, I could go back into the early 2000s using the power of new social media, video, YouTube. The profits would have been gigantic compared to what we had to pay back then. And essentially anyone can start a business today. You need a good website. You need to understand the tools. So it's an exciting time to be in business. It's an even more exciting time if you are a business experienced owner to really say, I need to learn, I need to change, I need to hire someone that can help me because I'm the subject matter expert. And experience cannot replace someone who is the 25-year-old out of college. I'm not saying that they're not better, but it's the same for me. I've been doing this for 24 years now, and I find that I have to also keep learning. Otherwise, I'm going to be obsolete.
Adapt or die. People have been saying that for years, and the Blockbuster comment was a great example of that. Let's talk a little bit about, from your experience, why do businesses not remain as relevant today as they should be?
I think a lot of times many reasons. It could be they get stagnant, they get comfortable. It's hard, it's hard to change as people get older. Sometimes I had a question once asked of me, and it was like a 60-year-old businessman, and he said, well, why do you think people won't change? And then my answer was, well, I guess, sir, you haven't experienced enough struggle to make you change. If you have a thriving business and you have the right people in place, obviously your business is going to stay innovative and thrive year after year. But, there's psychology to, even when your business is doing well, you still have to worry because, again, with the Blockbuster Netflix example, someone else can always come in. Look at Uber. Uber replaced taxis. Somebody had this idea to become innovative and to do something in a bigger, broader way that serves in volumes millions of people. So if someone doesn't want to change, I really think that it's because they're stagnant, they're comfortable, and if what they're doing is working and paying their bills and giving them an ultimate exit plan, like it's something that you thrive on, then don't change. But I really find it hard to believe that in almost any industry, because I've worked with all kinds of industries, that you can stay stagnant and succeed.
Well, that's great advice. And here's part of the problem, I think, for people over age 50, which are a lot of the listeners of this show, Lisa, but all ages listen to this. But part of the problem is this: it's not that change is afoot; it's the pace of change, and it's the concern that I only have so much to spend on marketing and advertising and changing my messages up. How do I know what's good technology to use and what's next? I mean, I think that's the key. Is the demographics have shifted. Like Facebook was started for college students, and now it's older people on the demographic for Facebook, right?
Correct. Right. You're right. The pace of business has changed. And what next is to hire somebody who is an industry expert to teach them. First, and that's one of the reasons why I started doing webinars as teaching, is I have a webinar called What Color is Your Message? And I explain everything I'm talking about. And I explain it in the 5th grade level in a way because I've also become an expert, and sometimes when you're an expert, you forget how to dumb it down, per se, for lack of better words. So I find that if you start learning, and what I find when people start learning, like how to do their own LinkedIn and website, if some people want to do their own website, I don't know why they would want to do that. But when they understand, I get it now, and I get that all these pieces of my marketing need to have best practices, and how if I have a sales team, that we all need to be on the same page. Like there's sales teams that are using antiquated PowerPoints and passing around PDFs instead of using one link that can be instantly changed at the click of a button. And so you think of that time, how much time is that costing that company who's letting this happen, these old practices, which I see all the time, by the way. I've seen it happen in multi-million-dollar companies. I've seen it happen in a billion-dollar company. So it behooves the owner and the CEOs to hire an expert to go in and really take a look at what are their best practices today. Are they efficient? And oftentimes they are not. Technology, as I keep saying, is growing at a rapid pace. And I really feel that businesses need to invest some time into technology, into best practices. It could be, what's the cost to them if they're out of business?
As a professional, what do you do to keep on top of the trends and changes that are happening?
Great question. Well, I stay abreast by reading and doing and understanding and using the tools myself. I'll stop and do an Instagram post for myself or a client. I study. It's my life. I also have young people that work with me. I have millennials, and they're teaching me when Instagram changes its algorithm. Lisa, we got to show you this. And rather than me going, oh, God, another thing I have to learn, I'm like, okay, how exciting. I need to learn this. Or because time is of essence for all of us, I'll say you're going to stay an expert in Google AdWords. I'm going to stay an expert here in writing and consulting and business development. And it's really growing with the team. There's no way I could possibly myself. I rely on my team, and I rely on people to do what they do best, and it's the same for a company. They have a team, they have departments, and they rely on these team leaders to do what they do best, and to come together and to let different people in your organization lead in the expertise. And if you are a small organization or more like a solopreneur, to really rely on someone as your creative partner, creative business development or marketing person, and check in with them and to stay abreast. But I constantly just keep up with best practices, go to, yesterday I went to a Provisors IT group meeting and always staying in that, I like to say I like speaking geek. So staying in touch with that. I like being around geeks. I get really excited.
Okay. Well, so let's talk about one other question I have for you, and that is, what is one important trait that most successful people have in your experience?
Thank you. I think in interviewing hundreds of people, I'm doing a book called Skip a Step right now, and I've had the privilege of interviewing great people, a billionaire, a 6-time New York bestselling author, Michael Gerber even, and I often find that their vision, creating their vision and executing their vision was what made them succeed, made them adapt. The vision, again, when someone had the idea for Uber, the vision when people have the idea, there's lynda.com, lynda.com. She was a professor that had a vision to create videos in the masses to teach people what she was already teaching. And she bought and sold that company to LinkedIn years ago for over $1 billion. I believe it's at least $1 billion. So without that vision and taking the risk on what you know how to create, again, so my answer would be having that vision. And I love doing that with people when they share with me their vision, but they don't know how to get from A to Z, is helping them connect the dots and say, no, I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to make you accountable. We're going to create what you want to create, because there's so many business experts out there that have the creativity and vision, and they need an accountability partner.
Lisa, we've got about 2 minutes left, and in that time, I'd love for you to tell me more about your book, which is called Color Your Message and available on Amazon. Tell us a little bit about the book, what's in it, and who should buy it.
Thank you. It's a great book, Color Your Message. It's on Kindle and Amazon, and it was I used my marketing practices to also take it to #1 years ago. I've since updated it because there's many things that have changed. I talk about one popular chapter is never run out of messages. I give 27 social media ideas that you can give out every single day. I talk about the Pew Research and the America's Aging Pyramid and where we're at today compared to where we used to be and where we're going to go, and why it's so important for you as a business owner to convey your message across different aging demographics to get more business.
So it's available on Amazon and it's also on Kindle as well, right?
Yeah. Yep. If you just type in Color Your Message, it comes right up. And it's an easy read. I have several great reviews on there, thankfully. Again, my audience was the purpose of this book was for the reader to continue doing what they love, to do what they love in their business and getting the right message out. And it's really helped a lot of people, and I enjoy helping people who created business and having that purpose in mind to begin with, because that's one of the main reasons we become an entrepreneur and we grow our business is because we had an idea, we had a problem to solve. And again, today, because technology moving very fast, I want to make sure that I can reach as many people to continue their message and get found on Google, and to continue to reach masses of people and to embrace the change that they're going to need.
Listeners, if you'd like to get in touch with Lisa, you can reach her by email at Lisa at lisacaprelli.com. I'll spell that for you, lisacaprelli.com, or go to her website, lisacaprelli.com. And she has another website, artwineexpression.com, that we don't even have time to get into, but it sounds fascinating. Lisa, thank you so much. I love your energy. I love your message, and I think you framed it brilliantly today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you'll join me again sometime in the near future.
Thank you so much, Bill. Great show. I enjoyed being on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Exit Coach Radio.